And there have been attacks by herdsmen in about 6 states across the country since the beginning of 2018. Now, these attacks have killed dozens, injured dozens even more, while the houses and valuables have been destroyed. Security expert Mukhtar Dan Iyan joins us now live on Skype to talk about this. He's joining me from New York. Mukhtar, it's good to have you join us right now. Now, I know you've been following developments across the country. Now, a lot of Nigerians are very, people who are also watching from outside have been very concerned about what is going on in Nigeria. That's supposed to be the example for others. But talk to me about what you've been hearing. What is the feeling out there when you hear about killings in Nigeria?
Well, the feeling out there is that the government, when it comes to the securing the lives and properties of the citizens of Nigeria in non-war zones, especially not the Northeast, the Buhari-led administration is doing a very poor job. The consensus is that the president is not focused on protecting the lives and properties of his citizens, which is extremely unfortunate because at the end of the day, his duty as the commander-in-chief is to make sure that people can go about their business in peace all around the nation. What is even more troubling is that a lot of these clashes, if you want to call them that, there is information about them, about their likelihood of happening, like you just mentioned, that comes across months, if not even years before. But the internal security apparatus seems to be completely powerless. And this is unfortunate because at the end of the day, nobody looks forward to dying at the hands of herdsmen or what have you. But again, the administration seems to have decided not to tackle this situation head on.
All right. Now, a lot of some analysts who are also close to the government have said that the president cannot be everywhere at the same time, and therefore that the president cannot be blamed sometimes on some of these developments. What's your take on this? Also talking about the body language of the president towards herdsmen generally.
I think while it's true that the president cannot be everywhere at the same time, it's also that constitutionally the president is the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. He's also the overall head of Nigeria's paramilitary forces. If he cannot design or implement a security architecture which ensures that the lives and property of every single Nigerian, no matter where they might be in Nigeria, is protected, then there is a major challenge. He has more than enough capable people in Nigeria who can run the security apparatus. He needs to find those people and put them in the proper places of authority. No one expects Buhari to be everywhere himself at every point in time, but he has clout. You can't have people dying as if their lives are worth absolutely nothing. The Fulani Herdsmen issue, Fulani are not only in Nigeria, they're all across West Africa. You don't hear of Fulani herdsmen murdering people in droves in Guinea. You don't hear of Fulani people murdering people in droves in Ghana. You don't hear of Fulani herdsmen murdering people in Senegal and so on and so forth. But you hear about it happening in Nigeria. Why? Because the security apparatus in Nigeria is failing when it comes to that particular end of things. We have to also remember that it's not that difficult for the president to make pronouncements about all sorts of things whereby executive fiat, people can no longer do this or not do that. He needs to announce that by executive fiat, open grazing is no longer permissible. Give herdsmen 3 to 6 months to migrate to ranches. And to get ranches, what the government needs to do is a public-private partnership. Those who are interested in running ranches where herdsmen can graze their cattle, the government should support and encourage them. And then within 3 to 6 months, all herdsmen across the nation move to those ranches. If they can't move to those ranches, then they need to go elsewhere outside Nigeria. The third thing, if I may say this, is this. We've been hearing of clashes going on for how long? We all know that the majority of the herdsmen out there are not the owners of the cattle. The owners of the cattle are big men who are seated in Abuja and various state capitals across the nation, especially in the north. How many big men, so-called big men, have we heard have been brought to book? Absolutely none. So with impunity, these herdsmen literally become a state within the state doing what they want, and it is unacceptable. I support the president in many areas, but in this particular one, he has failed and failed woefully. One life is one life lost. One life lost is one life too many. The president needs to do something about it, and enough with the excuses.
All right, Mukhtar, is it when it comes to solving the challenges of herdsmen or Fulani herdsmen, as the case may be, does it necessarily make a difference that the president himself is someone who owns cattle on one hand and then he's also Fulani on the other hand? Does it necessarily put him in the better position or the best position to solve this situation?
The president has cattle and he has a ranch. His cattle don't roam the streets of Nigeria. The president's cattle leave Daura, where he has his farm, and come to Port Harcourt or come to Rivers or come to Nasarawa or Niger State. The president's cattle stay in his ranch, on his ranch in Daura. What is good for him is good for everybody else. But we have to have the political will. He has to have the political will to declare that ranching is the only way to go. You can't have this property, which they do with impunity. Even worse, you can't have the herdsmen killing people because of their perceived slight on their what have you. It's not acceptable. You can't take your cattle into somebody else's farm, and when the person resists, you go kill him. I mean, that's barbarism, and this is 2017, not 4. So anyway, no, it doesn't matter that the president is Fulani. No, it doesn't matter that the president has cattle. The president thankfully grazes his cattle properly. Going on for himself, he needs to make that the norm for the rest of the cattle herders, cattle grazers, cattle owners in Nigeria.
All right, Mukhtar Dan Iyan, thank you so much for joining me, for talking to us right now. Mukhtar is a security expert that is joining us from New York. Thank you very much.